Hi, thanks for watching. I live near the flight path for Glasgow International Airport, and as the crow flies I'm only a couple of miles away from the runway. So I hear airplanes quite a lot, but on Saturday there, 10th of August, I heard something loud, and it turned out to be one of these. This is the A380 Airbus. And when I seen it, a couple of things went through my head, and I thought, right, okay, it's big, I'll give them that. Then I thought about the fuel. It must take a hell of a lot. Then I thought, well, where did they put it then? So I started having a look. And when you look at the story, the more you look, the more it just falls apart. None of it makes any sense. I'll get back to the airplane shortly. This here is a few miles up the road, and it's Bowling oil terminal, and it's no longer there. But I used to work there when I was young, cutting the grass one summer. Right. And I've always thought there should be something like this in an airport, especially the international airports, and well, you know how many planes go through in a day? How much fuel do they go through? We never see anything visible or otherwise. I'll show you. Oh, here's a dry stone wall. It just stops dead. Right. Anyway, back to the airplane. Right. So I'll take you down to the airport. And there's a runway. And what you don't see is any sign of fuel. Now here is where the oil terminal was. Right, it was in here. And the tanks you saw, they were in this bit here. Right, so see the way this was around the edge here. There was all these different pits, but around the edge was a lot higher than down here, because it was like a slope. So a big bath, pretty much, that contained these fuel containers, and they've all been moved, and there's a bunch of them here. But the thing is, across here, where was it now? Here, there used to be tankers like this size, but they were half buried, you know, so that there's grass growing over them, and apparently that was for during the war or something, so they say. Camouflage, I don't know. Anyway, my point is, with the amount of fuel that goes through an airport on a daily basis, where does all the fuel come from? And that's one of the things I'm going to have a look at. Right, as you look at some of the interior shots of this airplane, I'll tell you something. Recently, I had a chat with somebody, And I was explaining about the shape of the world and how things work. And I says to her, for proof, the next time you go abroad, get a spirit level app on your phone, and when you're in the airport, put it on your concourse and make sure you get it calibrated with the level floor. Then, when the seatbelt light comes on, put the app or the phone on the floor, and I guarantee the bubble will stay in the middle for the entire journey. And I don't care how long you're in the airplane or how far you go. But this mob, they're about to do a brilliant experiment by default. Because what their intention is put a swimming pool in an airplane. So, how will that work around a curve, do you think? We'll have a look at more swimming pools later. I'll show you where they're putting this thing. They're putting it in here. Then the luggage goes. Right. So, as you're thinking about a swimming pool and an airplane, that's how much fuel is supposed to be in the wings. Oh, and the tail. So let's look at the wing construction.
Construction of aircraft wings for the entire Airbus fleet here at Broughton has provided one of the most challenging engineering projects ever undertaken in the civil aviation sector. These massive structures, built almost entirely from aluminium, will eventually hold the fuel for some of the world's most advanced, fuel-efficient passenger airliners. But until recently, Airbus, like many other aircraft manufacturers around the world, faced the same age-old problem: how to locate drill positions through wing structures without making errors. In the past, the industry-standard method was to climb inside the wing and drill a small pilot hole, opening up a larger hole from the outside before fastening the skin to the structure. The success of each drilling operation would be down to the skill of the operator. One misaligned hole, and at the very least, construction time would be lost. At the very worst, the whole panel, rib, or wing would have to be scrapped. In confined spaces, an operator finds it difficult to drill from inside the wing totally square onto the workpiece, especially on tapered structures, causing the pilot hole to go through the wing at an angle. When the hole is opened up from the other side, a pipped hole can be created, causing re-inspection and the need for an enlarged hole to be drilled to cover the damage. The halo sensor technology now used in production of all Airbus aircraft is a drill targeting system that completely eliminates the problem caused by back drilling and produces a single, correctly aligned hole every time. The through-skin sensor works on the principle of aligning the drill guide with a target placed on the inside of the structure. The halo sensor is able to accurately and quickly detect the position of the target and drill straight into the spar or strut without the need for back drilling. Once the halo sensor has produced a correctly aligned hole perfectly square to the skin, the hole can be opened up using conventional drilling methods. The sensor has been developed by AB Electronic to remove the number of concessions generated during back drilling, using a unique system to pinpoint the exact position to start the hole. The target is placed on the inside of the wing structure in the correct position. On the other side of the wing, using only the magnetic field for alignment, the second operator is easily able to locate the position of the target. The through-skin sensor unit is then placed on the skin, and using the display to guide the operator, the sensor is moved into position and vacuum locked into place before the target is removed and drilling can commence. Back on the factory floor, the TSS is wheeled into position, one end already connected to the battery pack. The other end is attached to the central air supply. The head unit uses a fully integrated sensor array, a processor, drill block, and vacuum system. With the target in position on the inside of the wing, the sensor unit is then placed against the wing skin, and the vacuum is switched on to hold the unit like in place. By using the inbuilt suction pads, the unit is moved along the wing, using the mapping screen to detect the exact position of the target. The crosshairs on the display screen allow the operator to accurately position the halo sensor before drilling starts. In robotic trials, the through-skin sensor has shown improved accuracy over conventional back drilling methods, allowing more precise drilling and avoiding the need for additional tolerance material in structures to compensate for errors. With over 90 systems currently in use throughout Airbus UK, the massive task of drilling and riveting millions of holes in aircraft wings has now become a get-it-right first-time operation. The through-skin sensor has been designed specifically for small hole accuracy. However, the technology is entirely scalable and completely adaptable for the marine and automotive sectors. As weight saving becomes even more important in the aerospace industry, aircraft now spend less time on the production line, are lighter and more fuel efficient, and greener for the environment. Airbus now enjoys the cost savings and benefits that Halo sensor can deliver. Accuracy in drilling first time, every time.
This is one way they show us a plane getting refueled, and there is another way, and it's even funnier than this. Before we move on, I have no idea what this guy is holding here. I don't know what that is. Anybody any guesses? Now, the other thing about this, the intention here is to create the illusion that the A380 is being refueled by this tanker. That's what we're being told here. And if you were in the airport, that's what you would see. And before we go into a lot about the fuel, this tanker, on a good day, would carry maybe somewhere between 6 and possibly 9,000 gallons. Right? That's how much that'll carry. Right. Now, there's another way they show how these airplanes get fueled up at an airport. And one of the things that the Scots and the French have in common is their sense of humour. And you'll see with this pantomime what I'm talking about. This was a refuelling in a French airport. They don't spill a drop. Right, so this guy drives in under the wing in a truck. Right. A whole bunch of people watch him. Right. Then this hose which is attached to the truck, and they make a big show. It's dangerous. And you now shift it and drag it across where he'll find a coupling to fit the hose. Right, so where does that go then? Underground to where? Where is the big holding tank every airport would need? So what's he up to? Right, so this guy gets another hose from the truck and he hooks it up to these spotless fuel connections. Right. So we have the truck with a hose going into the ground and another hose going into the wing. Right, and that's where they put all the fuel in here. Right, we'll now look at it, see how much fuel they use and what they say they use. This is him just going under the other wing to do the same thing, repeat the same process. In fact, I think, is this for the... I thought this was one of the politicians with the photo. Ah, it is. And the politicians have a photo shoot at the refuelling of an airplane. Christ, they'd do anything, wouldn't they? So how does that work then? This guy rove under each wing and made a connection with each wing and filled it with fuel. So, where did that lead to? What tank? There's a whole bunch of tanks here. So how did he fill all these different tanks just with one action? They should all be filled separately if they're separate tanks. Right. Another look at the dimensions of the wing. They ain't that thick. Right. And where in the fuel stored on the aircraft wing? And there's a couple. This is a wing tank. Okay. And like it shows you in the construction, an airplane wing is made up in different sections. It's in two parts, upper and lower, and both of them join together with these struts that go the full length of the wing. So there's no place for the giant bladder. Speaking of which, these are bladders. You've got to be kidding. Right. So how does that work then? The A380 carries 323,546 litres or 85,472 US gallons of fuel. So let's put that in perspective. 323,000 litres. Right. Well, this is 332,000 litres. That's close enough for me. And that is for calculating the volume in the swimming pool. And for that amount, it is a swimming pool which is 60 feet long, 30 feet wide, and it slopes in a depth from 10 feet down to 3 feet. That's your 87,000 US gallons. Right, now, the weight of that amount is 561,660 pounds. So let's punch that in, right? So 561,660 pounds. We'll change that into tons. 280 tons. Right, so 280 metric tons in the wings. That's the weight of nearly 3 whales. Well, that depends what kind of whale. Remember, this is the fuel consumption for one airplane. Now you look at an airport like one of the New York airports or London, Los Angeles, and they get many of these jumbos going through their airports on a regular basis. So, where's all the fuel in the airport to fill the planes? Because if they don't have a big holding tank, then I think we should see this every day at every airport, all through the summer. Well, thanks for watching. Please comment.